morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Mustafa Al-Taib, teacher of chemistry. This week is week 10. Today is 6th April 2020, Monday. We will start to explain catabolism and anabolism pathways. We explained last week this figure. This side is the catabolic pathway and this side is the anabolic pathway, and we understand that catabolic means breakdown and anabolic means build up. Okay, the second slide explain what happened during cellular respiration and digestion of food. If we see these particles are the small units of our nutrients. Glucose is the smallest unit of carbohydrates. Amino acid is the smallest unit of proteins. Fatty acids, smallest units of lipids. And these are produced via digestion of foods and will reach to the small intestine. After reaching to the small intestine, they will absorb through the villi to the blood. Then these particles or these compounds or these molecules will enter to the cells for catabolic pathway. Catabolic pathway means breakdown of these molecules according to the importance or according to the pathway, and production of small particles and energy. Okay, these small particles will go out of the body, or part of them will go out of the body, and the energy is used, the energy in form of ADP and NADH. So the energy produced as ATP and NADH. Okay, this energy, about 40% of ATP, is used to anabolic pathway of these particles or these macromolecules. Again, they will produce RNA, DNA, proteins, fats, and glycogen. And you have to understand the difference between different expressions like glycogenesis and glycolysis and so on. Okay? The next slide is the same like the previous one, but explain the energy transfer in details. As you see here, this is nutrients, carbon, substance, glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids will pass to the catabolic process, and this catabolic process will produce ATP and NADH. So the main energy component in this catabolic process or catabolic pathway is NADH and ATP. And we have two main products, which are CO2 and H2O. CO2 and H2O will go out as waste products. After that, we have now intermediates after catabolic pathway, and these intermediates will help, okay, for the production of macromolecules in process of anabolism to produce biomass. Okay, and in this process there is a consumption of energy and transfer of ATP to ADP. So it will lose one phosphate group and ATP will change to ADP again. Okay, and as we know, guys, the three main biological compounds: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids. This is the main compounds that we will eat. Starting by carbohydrates, as you know, carbohydrates start to be digested in our mouth through saliva, because our saliva contains amylase enzyme, which will break down the starch to begin to break down polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means the starch to disaccharides, because amylose is a disaccharide. Okay, then these polysaccharides or disaccharides will move to our stomach and small intestine for completing the digestion and production of glucose and glycerol. So carbohydrates, the net result from digestion of carbohydrates are glucose, glycerol, and other monosaccharides. Because as you know, monosaccharides, we have different types of monosaccharides. We have galactose, we have glucose, we have glucose, galactose, and fructose. Okay, this is the first biological compound and the pathway of digestion. The second one is protein, and as we explained before, the protein starts to be digested in our stomach by enzyme pepsin. Okay, then it will complete the digestion process in small intestine through trypsin enzyme. The last type of biological compound is the fats or lipids, and fats start to be digested in small intestine. And once these small units will pass from our small intestine to the blood, glucose will enter to our living cells and will pass by a series of chemical reactions in a process called citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle. And the main products from this Krebs cycle are NADH and ATP, which are compounds that carry energy, and this energy is used to produce macromolecules in an anabolic process. So at this time we finished the catabolic process. Now guys, we finished our section, and I think inshallah this section is included in the third assessment. So our assessment will cover chapter 23, section 1, 2, and 3. Okay, section 1, 2, and 3. So you are responsible for section 1, carbohydrates and lipids, section 2, amino acids and proteins, section 3, metabolism. Okay, now for grade 12 B, explain. This is your homework today. Explain the anabolic process inside the plants. Explain the anabolic process inside plants. Okay, this is your homework. Thank you. Bye.